What's going on, everyone? Gilman with the Wellthy Stocks, back with our daily Apple update video, ticker symbol AAPL, where we take a look at how Apple stock traded today, key levels of support and resistance that we are looking at moving into the future, and based on that, what we think Apple stock could do. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let me go ahead and hit record. And we'll get right into the video. Actually, a nice little green day for Apple. We were expecting a little bit of a pullback potentially, which we got in the overall markets, but Apple was relatively strong. We haven't seen that in a while. Markets red, Apple green, right? So let's take a look at the markets real quick. We'll talk about the Apple event coming tomorrow. We'll do Apple's technical analysis, and then we'll do kind of a deeper dive into the markets and what we can expect there. So real quick, NASDAQ was down almost 8% with a nice little push there at the end. Dow Jones was down about 111 points, 0.32%, and the S&P was down about 0.5%. All that to say, and all that, you know, Apple was up 68 cents, which is 0.51%. So Apple looking absolutely phenomenal. So let's talk about, you know, why it could be pushing up right now. Because there's two reasons. The first one being we got earnings coming up a week from 2 days. So next Wednesday, I believe, is when we have earnings. Yeah, 4/28. Today's the 19th. So next Wednesday, but tomorrow we have the Apple Spring Loaded event. We've covered this a little bit, but I want to kind of, for those of you guys that maybe haven't seen my previous videos, what can we expect? So first things first, it's at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So I'm in Central, that would be noon for me. Hopefully we see some great kind of releases there, but we're probably expecting iPads, laptops, iMacs, things of that nature. New powerful iPads, so we're expecting that we're gonna get you know, the iPad Pro having the ARM-based M1 processor, so Apple's own processor, and maybe USB-C Thunderbolt ports. That's what we are seeing here. Remember that we did talk about the screen shortage that might be hitting those iPads, but nonetheless they are well, it's expected that they're still going forward with the release. So hopefully we see that. We could potentially see new AirPods. Remember that we've talked about this before. These are not going to be the AirPod Pros. They're going to be kind of the cheaper ones, right? Your normal AirPods, not the in-ear, well, the ones that look like traditional headphones minus the wires, not the ones that kind of go inside your ear with the little rubber thing. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we're expecting potentially those tomorrow. We might be getting M1 powered Macs. So you know, some MacBook Pros have started to incorporate the new M1 chips. We might be getting more of that as well. The new iOS potentially is coming. And then there was another article that talked about new iMacs, which we haven't seen an update on those in years. So that could be great. But yeah, overall, you know, your normal kind of products, nothing too crazy, but still relatively exciting product release event for Apple. That could be the reason why it's running. The other reason could be that, you know, we have earnings coming up, but I think it's a little too early for the run in earnings. So let's talk about how we traded today, key levels of support, resistance we are looking at. So, you know, market in the pre-market was dropping a little, right? And that's kind of what we expected. But take a look at this bounce here, 133.34, our level 133.45, so about 11 cents away from, below our level. Bounced, pushed up, actually broke above 135 very, very briefly. Came back, pushed up, came back, pushed up. One thing to look at is throughout the course of the day, right? We made a low at 134.20s, we made a lower low 134.10s, we made a lower low 133.72. So it's looking like a little bit of a pullback, but then the second half of the day, right? We pushed up, we broke above VWAP, came back down, and then had a really nice push to end the day. That puts us at about 0.5% green on the day, so not bad trading action there. Overall, relatively good price action from Apple. Now let's take a look at the daily chart and we'll see what we see. So Apple is looking really good, you guys. Remember that we had this bull pennant that we drew and we broke out of that, and now you know, we're kind of taking a little breather. As you can see, over the past 3-4 days, we've really struggled to break above that 135 level. Now that we broke above it, made a high of 135.47, you saw how quickly we came below that. So that's kind of crucial moving forward, is that 135 level to take a look at. RSI is looking good, definitely a little bit more on the overbought side than the oversold side, but we've got 2 catalyst events. So it kind of makes sense that we are, you know, looking pretty good. Let's talk about key levels of support, key levels of resistance coming up. So this 135, as we've seen over the past few days, has held up as a good level of resistance. And then 136.05 is next, and then 138.43 are kind of the 3 levels that I'm looking at. On the downside, we got 133.45, as we've seen, again, bouncing over the past few days, today on Friday, and, you know, a little bit before that on Thursday. 133.40s, and then we got the 132.52, which actually perfectly aligns with our 8 EMA in the 132.40s. Then we got the 131.45 level. I think the potential of a pullback is still there, but on my TD Ameritrade, I noticed that there was a medium squeeze taking place on Apple, which typically means, you know, it's going to go up. That squeeze fired, I think, in the second half of the day. So, you know, I am still kind of bullish on Apple this week. It's a matter of, you know, when it pushes up versus pulling back. What do I mean by that, right? Tomorrow is the Apple Spring Loaded event, and then we've got a week and a day until we have earnings. So I think we could see either a little bit of a push up tomorrow, right? Maybe breaking that 135 for once. And then we see a pullback post that, and then we see a run into earnings, or we see that pullback happening tomorrow, and then we see a run into earnings happening kind of later this week, early next week. So it's a matter of, when do we see a little bit of a sell-off, or do we see a continued run and then not see that run into earnings? Remember that squeeze fired, which gives me a little bit of hope that we still have a little bit of run. If that happens, I think 135 and 136 will be easy levels to take out. Maybe we stop somewhere between 136 and 138 in the 137s. Remember that pullback potential is always there. I continue to hold my Apple shares though, not selling it because of that. I got that June call as well. Looking pretty good right now. Once I think it was like down 40-45% a few weeks ago, but because I bought time, continued to hold on to that. So that's Apple, you guys. I think great potential still, small chance of a pullback, especially since we're kind of separated from the AEMA, but you know, it's relatively strong today, and with that and the squeeze, I'm hopeful that it continues pushing up. S&P is kind of what I want to share with you guys here. You know, still relatively overextended, RSI at 70. Good news is that kind of late push at the end of the day, but it's still a little bit overbought. So be careful if you're entering any long plays. I'm not saying sell everything, okay? I'm not, hold on to your shares if you like them. I'm just saying if you're entering a long position, things to consider, okay? That's out for 12, implying a little bit more of a pullback if we see that. And then same thing with QQQs, you guys. We are, you know, we bounced really nicely. Yesterday we talked about, you know, being at all-time highs, talked about the potential of a pullback. We got that. We also got a really nice bounce off the AEMA though. So kind of keep an eye on that. If we keep pushing up, the key thing to look at here is this line is our high last time. So it should hold up as good support. If it doesn't, you know, we got run room to the AEMA. And if the AEMA doesn't hold, that's when things can get kind of weird, because we have, you know, pullback potential all the way to 330. Just want to point that out. Not saying it's going to fall for sure. I continue to hold my Apple shares. Apple's looking really good. Nice little breakout. With some, you know, follow and continuation. Hopefully the squeeze that fired today continues throughout the course of the week, and maybe we see something nice coming out of the event tomorrow. As always, I'll keep you guys posted on that. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe to my channel, comment down below what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.